One and all, news just dropped. It has been revealed we're learning more about both the House of Lancaster and the Knights Templar. And we're going to look at it first. I haven't looked at this beforehand. So House Lancaster, they talk a little bit about it being a variant civ. They talk about the history of them. Lancaster being formed in 1267. Very strategically gifted group throughout the 100 Years' War, of course. We are going to be diving past this into the things that matter most. We want the deets. So the House of Lancaster focuses on defense and economy. The early game is centered around manors, which generate resources. Very interesting way of going. Kind of like Pitmine-esque in that regard. This passive piece that's like a core component, I feel like it's going to be. This is like a breakdown. I want to get to the more important part because I notice it tells you some stuff about the unit. So in the late game, the Red Rose of Lancaster is a full bloom with resources pouring from its manors. Robust heavy infantry bolstered by keeps. That's interesting. So keeps are going to affect heavy infantry. And you strengthen the rest of your military using a host of unique technologies. From the King's College, we called it. Guys, do you remember when we talked about this a little bit about the landmarks and the details on them saying art and technology? I was expecting something like a Royal Institute. Sounds like we might be getting that. So let's talk about the units a little bit. So first of all, there's Lord of Lancasters. We've been seeing these around. They're heavy melee infantry that increases the health of nearby units. A maximum of 4 may be fielded at any time. That's interesting. So increasing, like, but it's an aura, right? Because it says nearby. And you have a maximum of 4. If that stacks, there's maybe like a very snowbally build you can do. Because like if these are, if you build like men-at-arms 155 HP, I don't know if they have men-at-arms, they've got that other thing, right? Let's say it's 155 HP, and you add in like even a small percentile, let's say 10%. That's 15 HP, right? Remember that the Chinese have that tech that gives 30 extra health to the Palace Guard, so you can basically get double that. That's kind of bonkers. Up next, we've got the Hobbler, which is an interesting name. Like, what is the name of that based on? Wait, we know it stacks? Okay, there you go. So just think about the snowball effect of that. It's going to be wild. So Hobbler, light melee cavalry rather, that rides a sturdy pony. I love that they ride ponies. These units are significantly cheaper and faster to train than a standard horseman. Okay. We're going to do the enhance effect here, courtesy of our Opera GX browser. Okay, they look cool. So this is almost kind of like a warrior scout type unit then. Not meant to be like the full horseman wallet, but a little bit lighter. And so it's cheaper. I kind of like that, though. I like that we've got a horseman with short daggers. That makes for a nice change, because I'm just kind of getting tired of everything being like a spear on horseback. I like that they've got some character to that. That's really cool and different. On top of that, we have got the Yeoman. Light ranged infantry with increased range. The synchronized shot ability peppers an array of arrows at the targeted location. Okay, so we're still not fully sure exactly what synchronized shot does, per se. I think it's going to be some sort of AoE or line damage effect. We'll see which one it comes out with. These look sick, though. I love the full just aim to the sky. I don't know if this is incendiary or a default effect. I like the idea of it being a default effect so you know you're being hit by it. But I'm still theorizing this is going to be slightly different than longbows, because you can't just have longbow stats. It needs a unique identity. So we'll see how that is. Maybe a little bit less range than what they have. I'm still wondering if it's going to have bonus against heavy armor or bonus against cavalry and, like, a nod to the Agincourt type situation. We also have demi-lances. Okay, heavy armored cavalry that has high durability but low damage. Oh, okay. Low damage heavy cavalry is like kind of like a sofa, I guess. These look cool, though. So demi-lances, that kind of confirms that it's going to be something different. I wonder if these are just knights. I like that they haven't just added another knight. We're getting a new unique type. So it is really kind of leaning towards that sofa role, I think. That's going to be cool to see, though. And now we can talk about the ages. So, what? Hold on. From humble beginnings, the Lancaster economy is bolstered by additional sheep and increased gather rates from shepherds. What? Alright. Slight negative Nelly here, mainly because of, like, the sheep issue. Is this about to... I don't need to move the chat, don't I? Is this about to make... Am I the only feeling this might just actually end up making Lancaster like the big RNG winner of sheep roulette? I don't know. But it doesn't say they've got like farm buffs, which is interesting. Age 2, you start constructing manors, which generate resources over time. And Lancaster Castle can also be constructed to advance the feudal age, which aids in the protection of nearby manors. By levying troops. Okay, that's cool. So kind of like a Kremlin-type militia effect. Now, what's interesting, by the way, is like, once again, I've seen nothing about farms. So that already sounds very different. Age 3, there's the King's College we talked about. From unlocking hand cannoneers earlier to improving the bonus damage of your units, the King's College is sure to give you the upper hand. Okay, that's kind of wild. We're getting hand cannoneers early? There's not many civs that brag that. That's basically like Ottomans and now House of Lancaster. Very different again. I kind of like that they have the ranged element still there, even though it was a bit worrisome that it's going to overlap with English, but it's a different angle. That's cool to see. What is interesting is this, though. I love this idea of buffing the bonus damage of units. So there's like a more inherent valuable play in House of Lancaster playing into counters, which I think fits with the idea of things like demi-lancers instead of knights. It's like knights are like a jack of all trades, but if you don't have them, instead you have this focus on demi-lancers that are tanky, you're probably thinking, okay, I need the longbos that counter like, the spearmen, and I need the spearmen that counter the cavalry. So I actually like that. It's very unique. And then finally, we have got the Elite Earl Guard, a devastating armored infantry equipped with massive warhammers and throwing daggers. Constructing keeps will unify the houses, improving demi-lancers and earls guards in combat. This is interesting. So one thing I was a little bit worried about with this DLC is looking at both civs, and we're going to have a look straight away afterwards at the Knights Templar because they also got some info drop. It kind of feels like it's defensively leaning. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. You guys know I'm a big fan of like aggro over defense, but my feeling is like that defensive play could be maybe a problem if it's just building keeps for the sake of building keeps. It sounds like actually instead there's a focus on providing buffs that encourage elements of play elsewhere, which I like. And it sounds like that's not just aura focused, because it says in combat, not necessarily near the keep. I like that. Right? It's not a network of castles type thing, which I think we can agree to this day kind of feels toxic. But that seems to be all the info we got here. Someone didn't like that I skipped over some of the details. I don't think we just skipped over part of the history. I could go on a history rant if you want, but like we go deep, trust me. Outside that, I think that was everything. So really cool update on this. This is interesting. I feel like we're already seeing a lot of identity shift compared to standard English. It seems like these guys that have got the daggers and the warhammers are going to be focused on damage over tankiness. Demi-lancers as a cavalry tank is different than armor-clad men-at-armsing. Then you've got the yeomen, which seem to be a different focus than longbows from what we're seeing. Lords of Lancaster providing something different. The Hobbler, a very different cavalry approach. And also at the core of it, I don't think there's a focus on farms for this English. There's a focus on sheep, interestingly enough. I wonder if actually we'll get a way to produce sheep. That would be kind of cool, similar to how Marlins can get cattle. Just a way of building something that passively generates sheep over time, maybe, but is expensive. Like, I know we already have that with Mongols, but it does feel like something that would fit the identity of this civ. Could make Mongols plus House of Lancaster very interesting team games. Now we head on to the big boys, Knights Templar. By the way, this is the civ that I think everyone's expected to be so drastically different, so phenomenally different. Can I just praise, like, already the details we're leaking out about House of Lancaster makes them sound and feel very different. I'm looking forward to this. I actually kind of want to play House of Lancaster, and I've never really cared for English, even though I'm a Brit. So, on to the Knights Templar. A variant of the Age of Empires False French civilization. I still don't know why they're calling it that. Sorry, a little bit of a cough. Everything we're seeing about Knights Templar does not make them feel like a variant civ. They feel like a new civ. But let's continue. Historically, this order was founded in 1119 to protect pilgrims in their travel to Jerusalem. We've already seen some things about pilgrims, right? I think there's going to be a focus point here. In the following centuries, the Knights Templar were recognized for their military might and vast wealth. And I think, yeah, that's where they linked into King Philip of France, bringing them in, began dismantling the order. I don't know, like, I don't think they need to be a French variant. So they can establish commanderies throughout Europe, allowing their allies to fight alongside them. And we've already seen a lot of those allies. We'll dig into them a little bit. So capable of constructing fearsome fortifications and fielding a diverse selection of units, the Knights Templar fight to defend their sacred lands. What I like about this civ is we've seen the tech up choices. We've seen like the different people you can call to your age, right? To your aid. And I think the cool thing is like having 3 different choices, the amount of permutations Knights Templar can have bloats beyond traditional civs, because traditional civs are choose one of 2 landmarks. That's a very interesting thought. I like this. I think there's going to be a lot of diversity we see out of this civ. This might actually be the most broad civ we have in AoE4. So, They begin the Dark Age with one goal: prepare to defend pilgrims journeying to nearby sacred sites. There you go. So you are going to be defending the pilgrims, presumably because it's sacred site interaction. We're looking at probably gold, maybe food could be brought back by the pilgrims. They do this by foraging for additional food provisions in nearby forests and establishing commanderies as they advance through the ages. What is that additional food provision in nearby forests about? Do we maybe finally see like some sort of you gather wood and get food interaction? It's kind of weird wording, right? Like that would be cool. We've been talking about the idea of like having apple orchards or something that you could chop down to get a trickle of food alongside wood. Maybe these guys get it. And then you have the Templar headquarters where you get, wait. They advance through the ages using the Templar headquarters, the Templar town center. That's very different. That's like Age of Empires 2. Because like this sounds like you're not aging up via building a landmark with villages. You're aging up via the TC. They say it very clearly here. Like Age of Empires 2. There's no other civ that does this. Even like Abbasid is very different. So this is going to have like, oh my god, dude. I already said that this civ is going to have all these different mutations to learn. I just realized that this is going to make it even more complicated, because if you're leveling up via a town center, then you can't build villages. So build orders are going to be really different. And I'm smiling. I've got a snide little smile on, because that means like the people who like playing H3 and rushing Imperial Age aren't going to do it here. Like Abbasids? Not like Abbasids, because like Abbasids builds a House of Wisdom. This clearly says Templar headquarters, the Templar town center. So unless they have like a landmark they build straight away that is a town center thing, this indicates it's the TC. So each commandery grants the Knights Templar access to a unique bonus unit, tailoring both economy and military to the situation. That's cool. Once again, that diversification. And then constructing powerful fortresses cements their control of the map while providing inspiration to military troops. We saw that from the earlier video where there was a glow on them nearby. Not sure what it's going to do to them yet. I'm hoping it's something quirky and different. Defense could make a lot of sense, like being more like tanky, because Knights Templar are like these heavily armored dudes. I hope it's not like just an attack speed buff again. I kind of am over outposts giving attack speed buffs. And on top of that, acting as landmarks to guide pilgrims in their travels. So, like, do they buff pilgrims? Or is that a keyword choice? Because saying, like, they only ever say landmarks, these type of things. So I'm curious to see that, because, like, otherwise, that means Knights Templar is going to have the Abbasid effect of the House of Wisdom on their TC. Otherwise, they just die, right? Because you have one landmark. So we'll see how they deal with that. Maybe we get more info. So, Glance is coming in. The Templar Brothers, an expensive elite heavy cavalry unit with enhanced durability and damage. So this kind of looks like something, and sounds like something between a standard knight and a gilded knight. And I'm cool with that. So basically kind of cataphract without probably the trample charge. Maybe they have a different ability, but also remember you can have units around them, theoretically, at least from the age ups, that maybe impact them in some way. We have got the pilgrims. Okay, these guys look adorable. We made it! We didn't die! Oh, and there's more than like one. That's interesting. So I guess the pilgrims can get bigger and you get more like resources. And then we've got the Hospitalier. Okay, these are my favorite. You shall not part. Okay, that is full Gandalf vibes. That is 100% full Gandalf vibes. So presumably they buff or heal. Fight alongside the Knights Templar as men-at-arms, both strong in combat and capable of healing injured units. Dude, we have got Gandalf Medic over here. They look really cool, actually. These might end up being one of my like favorite units. I don't know, like I'm still a bit paranoid about whether this is going to be balanced. I've highlighted this before, is like healing in feudal age is like rough. So I'm assuming this is a feudal age unit, because like targeted one unit healing, unless these guys can pick up relics as well, is going to be kind of weak. So Dark Age begins by revealing the location of all sacred sites and relics. That's nuts. Wait, that's going to make like Knights Templar a really good support civ in team games already. Utilize this information, the Templar's ability to forage for food from forests. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Still this cough. They can gather from forests for food. It's literally confirming it. Like I had a feeling up there. So But we're not getting like a new orchard type interaction. They just like what, are gonna gather wood and get food? That's crazy. Also, ha 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 ha. What a noob. Even I know to build a lumber camp over there. But like, so there's nothing different about these visually. No building to like get it. I think it's a little bit like Japanese, where Japanese gather gold and get stone. Okay, that's kind of cool. That's very different. H2, research the safe passage technology at the temple headquarters to begin escorting pilgrims. So you have to unlock them, construct mighty fortresses to secure the way, and encourage more. Got it. So you get more pilgrims by building your castles, which they're saying you can access in Feudal Age. These can't be strong. Like, in Feudal Age, surely they cannot be strong. Like, think about how toxic a Barbican is in Feudal Age. I feel like this is going to be a tricky thing to balance, probably, with Knights Templar. Might be the hardest thing. And then H3, establish a commandery in the Kingdom of Castile to inspire military units near sacred sites and call upon the Genitor, a ranged cavalry unit which excels against other ranged units. Oh, so this will be... Yeah, you can see him. These are the javelin things we saw in their video, the trailer they released. Remember, we like highlighted it straight away. We saw them punting like something out. So that's confirmation in. They're good against range units. These are basically javelineers on horseback. They're skirmishers on horseback. Wait, actually, I just realized. Did they just add Terma to AoE 4? They did. That's basically Terma. I don't know if there's like an equivocal in AoE 2. Yeah, we have Terma. GG. Interesting. Like, why do they specify Castile? Because there's like other civs, no? Because they already show all the commanderies. Does someone have a link to the list of commanderies? Because I think we'll like round out talking about Knights Templar with that. Because like there is extra info, right? Like we saw them leaking it. And then finally, H4, the Knights Templar do not have access to gunpowder units. Wait, so all of a sudden Shushi can't complain. Instead, they field formidable trebuchets that can be deployed atop fortresses. We've seen this already in the videos, and it looks epic. They looked really, really strong. But maybe, like, I don't know, for that reason, like, what... They must have better trebs or something? Otherwise, their siege is going to be really bad. So, like, this is just a very defensive civ in the late game for that reason then, otherwise. Because they won't have bombards, culverins, or anything like that. Maybe, okay, maybe, what they're not saying here, maybe one of the tech up choices is going to, like, let you do that. Number of tabs is getting absurd. Let's go get all the pictures open, mate. But is there anything else given away in this? Yo, these guys are back. All right, these look like the final boss. They've got to be like super expensive and tanky or something. In fact, like, aren't these in the campaign? I'm pretty sure these are in the Sultan's Ascent campaign. They were the ridiculously tanky guys. They took so much effort to kill. So they're back. That is interesting as well. We have a lot of different things here, guys. So we have an axe-wielding men-at-arms. We've also got different-looking spears. Yeah, these spearmen, I really like these spearmen. Like, these almost like British spearmen or something, you know? Like, bulky with the pokey stick classic. And the clear difference is they've got the shields on the back. Those are going to be the Knights Templar and the Templar brothers in the background. Is there anything else? We've got archers on the wall, crossbows. Yeah, I think that's all the secrets it has to reveal in that picture. It's funny because compared to the other ones, I feel like there's so many extra secrets to reveal in the Knights Templar pictures that you have to look for. But someone did just link me the commanderies. So round out, highlighting these. Okay, yeah, that was it. So yeah, Knights Hospitalier is going to be the feudal. The alternative is you can get French Knights, I'm guessing, here. And that also makes them cheaper and faster to produce. Not sure what you're getting for Principality of Antioch. Actually, ooh, I know what you're getting. I reckon Principality of Antioch are those guys. I think they're the axe dudes. Because they're the only ones unaccounted for that would make sense, I guess. Because we've seen Genoa... Oh, what would Genoa be? Maybe the Spearman? No, Angevin is going to have to be Spearman. Angevin's going to have to be Spearman. Wait, is crossbows famously for Genoan? Okay. I didn't know that. There you go, I learned something. Kingdom of Castile, we already know is the javelin throwers on horseback. Kingdom of Poland has to be cavalry based. There's no doubt in my mind. In fact, we saw, if you remember those earlier pictures, they released super early. There was the cavalry unit that was holding like a hammer. And then, well, English like spearmen, this Angevin Empire. And then Teutonic, I mean, dude, it's pretty obvious that there's got to be these guys, right? And then that leaves one unit, Republic of Venice. Venice? Why did I say Venice? Venice. Venetians. So they get traders. I'm assuming they get the traders, and the other thing they get, guys, if you remember from the Knights of Crosses and Roses trailer, the trailer had a dead giveaway. I highlighted it. It has the patron saint of Venice right there. That's going to be the other Venetian unit. So I think Venetians are going to get traders, and they're going to get these catapult boats. Yeah. Okay. That reveals all of them. We just don't like the only ones that we've had to guess on were, oh god, I've lost where I was. The only ones we had to guess on was we haven't really seen the French one, and I think the rest we punted in. But yeah, guys, that is all the news, dude. There's not much to be seen still. Oh yes, that's right. There's a Lancaster looking. Thank you. Like someone in chat just highlighted. There's also a Lancaster looking unit. So maybe. Yeah, because, that's unaccounted for. Unless it is just an HRE-esque present unit. But that's a possibility. So there you go. You might have solved it. We might have actually know them all. But guys, that's all the info we've got right now. We covered it all. Let me know what you think. I personally am excited for this. I really want to see more on the historical battles as well. Like, we might actually, when the DLC comes out, do some, like, speed runs of the historical battles to see, like, if we can just get, like, an unbeatable time for a long time or something like that. I think it'd be really cool. But if you guys like the video, make sure you like it, share it around, let everyone know. Lots of hype stuff coming. We haven't got long to go now. Like, we're recording this on the 31st. DLC's out on the 8th. It's almost time, man. I'm so excited. It may only be 2 new civs, but what I'm seeing here is a lot of diversification that is going to add so many new experiences to AoE4. I'm excited for 2025.